Hot yoga survival tips. 5 things I wish I knew before I took my first hot yoga class. And one thing I wish I had was somebody with my 40-year experience to walk me through the process, to prepare me properly for what's in store for you. Now, even if you're not a new student, this is still going to be a valuable video for you to watch. I'll talk about preparation, what to do before the class, what to do in the class, and what to do after the class. So this video will be valuable for any person in the hot yoga world. Also, when I talk about hot yoga, I'm talking about a specific style of yoga. Bikram brought hot yoga to the United States in the 1970s. So Bikram yoga, which is 26 postures, 2 breathing exercises, is one particular style of hot yoga. I happen to teach the Barkan method, which was inspired by Bikram, but I added postures to address different areas of the body, different range of motion. But the Barkan method and Bikram yoga are still considered to be true styles of hatha yoga that came from Bikram's teacher, Vishnu Ghosh. So go on search and find a hot yoga studio, a Bikram studio, a Barkan studio. And if there's no hot yoga studios in your neighborhood, I created the Barkan Method on-demand hot yoga membership. You can take class in the convenience of your home. I put links in the description below. We'd love to have you join the family. There's a 7-day free trial. So now that we found a class, let's talk about the first thing you have to do. Before we continue on, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. Any questions or comments, put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you. And that is, borrowing the saying from Nike, just do it. Don't worry about if you're flexible enough, if you're strong enough, if you're coordinated enough. Don't worry about making a fool of yourself. You're not going to do well on your first day, no matter how flexible and strong you are. Unless you're a world-class gymnast or world-class dancer, most likely you're going to start at the baby phase. And nobody cares in the room. Don't worry about embarrassing yourself. Nobody cares what you can and can't do. They're going to be focused on their own practice. They're going to be in their own world. The only person that really was going to care what you do is the teacher, and hopefully the teacher's going to have your best interest in mind. So get in that room and just do it. Along with just doing the practice, understand that this practice, if you commit to it, will definitely transform your life. It is the most extraordinary thing you possibly can do for yourself. It's the most nourishing thing the body can sustain, because we're not just stretching and strengthening and working cardio. We're working deep into the areas of the body that they call in yoga. They call these channels or conduits the nadis. As we open up the body, physically, mentally, and spiritually, it creates what I call a holistic high that you can take with you wherever you go, anywhere you go for the rest of your life, and it will definitely transform your life. Okay, number 2. Preparation. You want to eat very light before the class starts, at least a couple hours before. You don't want to go on an empty stomach, that's for sure. I remember one time I came back to California. I'd already been doing yoga for a few years. I even had my own studio. I came back to Bikram's class and I went to the advanced class, and I'd eaten a bran muffin like 10 minutes before the class. And the bran muffin laid on my stomach. It almost formed back to its whole shape in my stomach. It was the worst class I've ever had. Don't eat heavy, very light, at least 2 hours before the class starts. What are you going to wear? For men, loose-fitting shorts like runner shorts. You can wear t-shirts depending on the class you go. If you're in a Bikram class, it's going to be 105 degrees. A lot of men don't wear shirts at all, but a t-shirt is definitely fine. But you don't want to find shorts that restrict your range of motion. Now for women, same thing. However, the women sometimes like to wear yoga pants. Lululemon is a high end. If you want to go Lululemon, I see so many people wearing Lululemon in yoga class. I don't get a commission, but they're great material. You can go to Target and get yoga pants. You can go to Target and get a yoga outfit. But the thing is, whatever you choose to wear, you don't want the material to restrict your range of motion. It's going to be hard enough it is to stretch your body in that class, especially if you're a beginner. So don't let the clothes get in the way, inhibit your range of motion. Make sure you hydrate before the class. Take a large bottle of water with you to the class, and make sure you hydrate after the class. Absolutely essential. Bring the bottle of water into the class with you. If you don't, a lot of times yoga studios will have a water fountain. You could fill it up. Or if you didn't bring your bottle, a lot of times they'll sell you bottles of water. I suggest bringing your own bottle of water. A lot of times, especially in a 26-2 Bikram class, they have specific official water breaks. And sometimes they don't let you even drink water during the class or certain times in the class. So I actually did a video on that. Make sure to check it out after you watch this video, because sometimes teachers can be very strict on when you can and cannot drink water. But bring your own bottle of water. The teacher will tell you when it's time to take a drink, except in the Barkan world, when you can drink anytime you want. But hydration is absolutely essential, especially in a really hot room. Now, yoga mat. If you're brand new and you're not even sure if you're going to stick to this, then most likely they will rent mats. In fact, you may want to call them and ask them if they rent mats. Sometimes rental mats can be a little disgusting. I suggest you get your own mat. My favorite mat, and I don't get a commission for this, is manduka. Manduka in Sanskrit means frog. That's why there's a little frog on the mat. But it's really a great mat. It's a lifetime guarantee. I got my Pro Manduka mat 17 years ago, and it's in the exact same condition as it was when I first got it. They're amazing. Now, you can put a towel over the mat. If you put a towel, you may want to sprinkle a little bit of water so you don't slip on the towel. Sometimes you don't get enough traction. They also created a product called Yogi Toes that Manduka actually bought. The Yogi Toes you put on the mat, and they have these little sticky things at the bottom of the towel. You put that onto the mat, and that's a great combination. Manduka mat with the Yogi Toes. Now, little side note, when Yogi Toes first came into existence, they sent me a product. They wanted my expert opinion on the product to give them an endorsement. I didn't know that the sticky things were supposed to be going down onto the mat. I had them face up. So, like an idiot. So I'm doing the posture on this, on the Yogi Toes with the thingies face up, and it was absolutely uncomfortable. I said, I don't like this product at all. And they said, no, you're supposed to put it the other way. So I said, all right, I guess I'm an idiot. So I put it the other way. And yes, to this day, I continue to use it. I used it this morning. So Manduka mat, Yogi Toes on top, great combination. Now you walk into the room, where are you going to stand? Where are you going to be in this room? My suggestion is the back middle. Sometimes people want to hide in the corners. Nowadays, some Bikram studios are always facing front. They even straddle the mat when they do triangle pose or warrior two triangle. A lot of the yoga studios, I think they got smart. They turn people to the right. They go to the top of the mat, take a right quarter turn, and you step out so everyone's on the mat. That's what we do in the Barkan method, and many Bikram studios are doing that as well. But if they do that and you're over in the right corner of the room, guess what? All of a sudden, you're in the front of the room. So don't go to the right side. And they may turn the other way, so don't go to the left side either. Back middle is going to be great. Why back? Because you want to watch people in front of you. You definitely don't want to be in the first row because you have to have that visual reference to see what they're doing. That example is going to help you tremendously. So back middle of the room. I remember my class, Bikram taught it, and Emmy Cleaves, who ended up teaching me the advanced class, also one of my teachers was right next to me, and Bikram saw how flexible my hamstrings were, and he said to me, you were a woman in your last 5 lifetimes, and everybody laughed. Your first class is very special. So for you to make it special, make sure you're in the back middle of the room. Number 4, listen to the teacher's cues. In the Bikram world, they call it the dialogue. In the Barkan world, we call it the bullet points. Listen to what the teacher is saying and apply those words to the practice. Now, here's my second major suggestion in point number 4. Take it easy. Ready? Drum roll, Rochelle. Take it easy. We are a performance-oriented society here in the United States, definitely in the West. We want to put forth our best effort, so we're doing well. You're not going to do well on your first day, week, month. It's going to take time. Like I said, unless you're a world-class gymnast or a world-class dancer, even they are going to struggle on their first couple times, in their first couple weeks, the first month. Take it easy, slow down. Here's another mantra that I have on my yoga channel. I've said it many times before. Less in the beginning, more at the end. I want you to remember that when you're doing these postures. You want to start out nice and slow and easy. One of the biggest mistakes students make is they go too far too soon. When you go too far too soon, the body's going to shut down to protect itself. It tightens up to protect itself. It's too much. Take it easy. Ease your way into the pose. Less in the beginning, more at the end. Don't worry about trying to get it. You're not going to get it your first day. Put forth your best effort, but don't kill yourself in the process. Now, here's the second thing I want you to remember. And I've said this also before on my channel, and maybe the most profound thing I'll ever say on any of my YouTube channels or any of my social media posts. And that's this. Another drum roll, Rochelle. Rochelle's my editor, by the way. Find your starting point in all these poses. And don't make a judgment, especially on your first day. Don't make a judgment. This is what you can do. This is as far as you can go. Don't worry about trying to keep up with this person and that person. Find your starting position without judgment. And your only goal is to find the next inch. If you live outside the United States, find the next 2 centimeters, 2.54 centimeters. That's it. When you have that mindset, this is as far as I can go in this position. I'm not going to make a judgment about it, because if you do make the judgment, that negative thought ripples into your physiology and it makes it worse. Your body's going to tighten up even more. No judgment. This is my starting point. What's my goal? My goal is tangible. What's the next inch? What's the next 2.5 centimeters? That's it. You're going to be successful in this hot yoga class, not just the first class, but all the classes you ever do. That's a guarantee. And the last thing that's absolutely essential, and that's come back the next day. You've got to keep the momentum going. You may be sore the next day. You're going to be sore in any type of athletic activity that you do that you're not used to. Weightlifting, running, you're going to be sore the next day. Usually it's the second day you're going to be really sore. Keep coming as much as you can. My suggestion, how many times a week you should come? 4 should be a minimum. 5 is great. 6 is ideal. I don't like 7. If you want to do 7 or 8 classes, you can do a double one day. But you want to keep the momentum going. This will transform your life. Hot yoga is an extraordinary practice. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it will transform you. You're going to get more flexible. You're going to get stronger. You're going to get more in cardio shape. You're going to feel wonderful. It goes way beyond a runner's high or an endorphin rush. It's what I call a holistic high, because we're not just balancing the body, we're quieting the mind, and that nourishes the soul. There it is. Physical, mental, spiritual, union, connection. It's yours for the taking. Just get in there and do it. Quick update of where I'm going to be in the next few months. February 18th to the 22nd. I'm going to be in Selfoss, Iceland, just a little bit north of Reykjavik, for a Barkan Method level 2/3 training. You can do it as a teacher or a student. March 13th to the 15th, I'm going to be in Evansville, Indiana at the Yoga Spot, doing a 3-day Barkan Method workshop. March and April, I'm going to be at the Outer Banks of North Carolina. That's OBX Hot Yoga. You have to take both sessions. It's our first level 1 session, live session in 2026. We'd love to have you join us. And in April, I'm going to be in Tallahassee, April 10th to the 12th, doing another Barkan Method 3-day workshop. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. Any questions or comments, put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you, and I'll see you the next video. Bye, everyone.